$20,000 lands in your account. 12 months later, on average, only about $11,000 is still there. Not stolen, not lost in a crash. Spent, in pieces so small you could not name them afterwards. That same $20,000, left alone at 31, could be about $142,000 at 60. One decision, 2 lives. And the gap between them is mostly decided in the first 72 hours. About 1 in 3 people who inherit money end up no better off than they were before it arrived. A relative dies. Weeks later, $20,000 lands in the checking account of a 31-year-old we'll call Alex. He opens the banking app and the balance has a comma in it he has never seen before. Here is the first warning sign, and almost nobody recognizes it as one. The money feels good. Not useful, not heavy. Good. That feeling is your brain filing the windfall in the wrong place. Economists call this mental accounting, which just means treating money differently depending on where it came from. In plain terms, your salary feels earned, so you guard it. A windfall feels free, so you don't. So Alex does not buy a sports car. That is the part everyone gets wrong about how windfalls disappear. He buys a good mattress, $800, and he genuinely needed it. Entirely defensible. Then the dentist he had been postponing for 2 years, $1,200. Also defensible, also gone. Every purchase in the next 18 months will be defensible. That is exactly what makes it work. But before any of that, there is a step that decides everything, and it looks like doing nothing at all. For 6 weeks, the $20,000 simply sits in checking, while Alex sensibly decides what to do with it. Those 6 weeks are where the money is actually lost. Not to a purchase, to visibility. Every time he opens the app, the balance tells him he can afford this, and every time he can. Careful deliberation is a virtue almost everywhere. With a windfall, the deliberation itself is the leak. By month 12, the research is blunt. Of every inherited dollar, roughly 55 cents is still there. Applied to Alex, that is 11,000 left, 9,000 gone, and he cannot itemize any of it. That figure comes from Zagorsky at Ohio State, who tracked more than 7,000 people over decades. So where does $9,000 go, without a single purchase anyone would call reckless? Into the gap between the life he had and the life he can suddenly afford. Alex used to check the price of everything. For 11 months, he checks the price of nothing. Groceries without the running tally. The better seat. The trip he would have skipped. Dinner. His round. $25 a day of small yeses is over $9,000 in a single year. No individual yes is wrong. Nobody would have talked him out of any one of them. And that is the thing about a windfall. It does not get spent. It gets absorbed. His life quietly expanded to the size of the new balance. Then the balance shrank back. The expanded life did not shrink with it. That gap is now funded by his salary. By month 18, the balance reads $1,100, and Alex would tell you he wasted none of it. That 18-month figure is an illustration, not a statistic. The verified number is the one at 12 months, but the destination is real. About 35% of inheritors end up with the same wealth, or less. Same wealth or less after receiving money. That is not a spending failure. It is an absorption failure. Among people who inherited $100,000 or more, nearly 1 in 5 spent every cent. Bigger windfall, same ending. Size does not protect you. Only the decision in the first days does. A Danish study using national records found the same shape. Heirs drift back to their old wealth trend within 9 years. Different country, different tax system, same ending. This is not simply an American spending problem. Now rewind to week 1 and change exactly one thing. Alex moves the money and stops looking at it. One assumption first, the same one this channel uses every time. 7% a year after inflation. Long-run U.S. stocks have averaged near 10% nominal. Nominal just means before inflation, minus roughly 3 points of it. Real, not nominal. Every dollar you are about to see is in today's purchasing power. At 7% real, money roughly doubles every 10 years. That is the entire engine. Alex is 31. From here to 60 is 29 years, which is nearly 3 full doublings. 20,000 becomes about 39,000 at 41, 77,000 at 51, and about 142,000 at 60. He never added a dollar. He never picked a stock. He only failed to touch it. That is what makes windfall math feel unfair. The hard part is not skill. It is stillness. $1,100 or about 142,000. Same money, same person, one different week. And notice where that gap came from. Not from returns, from the 20,000 still being there. Compounding cannot rescue money that has already left. It can only multiply the money that stayed. So here is the reframe that changes the decision. A windfall is not income. It is time travel. Income is a rate. It arrives again next month, which is exactly why spending some of it is fine. A windfall arrives once. Spending it does not cost you the money. It costs you the years. Alex's 20,000 was never just 20,000. It was about 142,000, priced at 20. That is the sentence to hold on to. When you spend a windfall, the price tag is written in decades, which brings us to the only rule here. Make the money boring within 72 hours. 72 hours, because the feeling of being rich fades far slower than your spending habits change. Step 1. Move it out of the account you buy coffee from, the same week that it lands. Money you can see while buying coffee is money you will spend without ever deciding to. Step 2. Give every dollar a job before you let any dollar become a feeling. High-interest debt first. That is a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate you stop paying. Then an emergency fund, because the reason windfalls get rated later is almost always an emergency. Then invest what is left, boringly. One broad fund holding hundreds of companies at once, so no single company can sink it. Step 3. Take a deliberate slice and spend it fast. 5%, $1,000. Not a reward, a pressure valve. Unspent windfalls leak, and a named slice stops the leak. Spend it on one memorable thing and let it be finished. The rest is already out of sight. Step 4. The one almost nobody does. Never let your monthly spending find out that it happened. Rent, groceries, an ordinary Tuesday. All of it should look identical in month 2 as in month 0. That is the whole test. Not whether you invested it, whether your life expanded to receive it. About 55 cents of every inherited dollar survives the year. A third of inheritors end up no better off. None of that comes from one bad decision. It comes from 80 reasonable ones nobody would question. The people who keep it are not more disciplined. They just made it boring before they could adjust. So if $20,000 landed tomorrow, the number to think about is not 20,000. It could be about 142,000 at 7% after inflation. That is what you are deciding about. One question, and answer it honestly. What is the first thing you would actually spend it on?